Man, we're getting down to about the last step on this bobber process, and boy, I get excited about this. It takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to design these kits because we want everything to fit perfectly. We want all the brackets to be beautiful and have a good fit. And we not only the fit, but we want the bike to look good too and ride well. So you want to have a nice fun ride and look cool when you're riding down the road on these motorcycles. So anyway, let's show you how to put these struts on. Okay, what you want to do is you want to remove this screw from the shock. Make sure we keep the flat washer, the big flat washer. And then grab your struts. And in the strut we have this longer 8mm screw. It has a hole in the hex head. We'll use that to safety wire the bolt on the bike a little later. So we'll go ahead and remove this, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to put this on. We're not going to use the nut, but we will use the lock washer. Okay, this is the right strut. Now, if you'll notice, I put the screw through the hole, and I use the, first we have the screw, the bolt, the lock washer, and then the big washer. They go in that sequence. And then let's go ahead and put a little blue Loctite on these threads. Just Loctite those up. And then we'll go ahead and screw the screw into the shock. Just leave that finger tight for now, and that'll just lay it out there. And then go ahead and do the other side exactly the same way. And we're about ready to mount this fender. Now let's go ahead and slide the fender down into the slot on that bracket down below. That's why we left this a little bit loose. So slide that in there like that. And then push it all the way that way. And then snug this up while you're pushing it on toward the left side of the bike. Just snug it up. Don't get it too tight right now, because we're going to go ahead and put the rear struts on and then come back and cinch that down. Now grab these the Phillips screws with the rubber washers. Grab those from the bracket that you siliconed before. Now let's go ahead and put some blue Loctite on these. These are the one screw that have a tendency to come loose with vibration, so we got to make sure we Loctite these. That's really important. Do that, and then we'll put that in there. Go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll show you how to adjust this fender. Okay, the struts have slots in them, so they will adjust up and down. Okay, what we do, we design these to hopefully they'll come pretty close with all the way in the down position. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put your finger under this screw right here, and then adjust that fender up just to where your finger, the tip of your finger kind of slides under there. I mean, you don't want it so close that it'll rub, because these tires have a tendency to swell a little bit too when you're going faster. So make sure you got a little bit of clearance there, but you don't want to make this fender look stupid. Now what I like to do, I like to have this, see that little ridge on the tire? I like to have that radius kind of blend in with the radius of the fender. If it's too high or too low, then it won't look very good. And then the other thing that will happen too, the further your back, your drive chain is stretched, and the further back you adjust your wheel, the little bit higher you may have to run the fender. So anyway, I'm going to put my finger in there. I'm going to go ahead and snug this one up. Okay, now I'm going to adjust the other side the same way. And what you want to do too, if the fender looks like it's a little off, you can adjust these like this way, back and forth, to kind of center that fender on your tire. So carefully adjust that. Make sure that front screw up there is still just a little bit loose. And then adjust that, and then once you get it to where you like it, go ahead and snug both sides. And then when you're happy with that, tighten that front screw. Make sure you push the fender that way as you're tightening that front screw. And that should be it. Hopefully this fender will fit on there real nice and square when you look at the back. It's not tilted or funny looking. And if you have any questions at all on this, email or call us and we can kind of talk you through it. And then do me a favor and go back and check all these screws, make sure they're nice and snug. And then the last thing you'll do is on the safety screw, on the safety wire, we include a little picture. We include a picture of that with the wires. That'll show you how to safety wire that screw. You just don't ever want that to come loose. And then also, to remove this fender later, it's really cool. All you have to do is just take the side screws out here and the front screw, and the whole thing with the struts will lift off. So it's kind of easy that way. Much easier than removing a stock fender. So there you have it. Gosh, that looks nice. Now, this is one of the last steps, so we'll be back to show you the finished result.